back from the show floor here at IPC Apex 2025 with a familiar face to many, I think.
Sure.
I don't actually know his real name. I only know him as Professor Splice. So without ado...
What a warm introduction.
Yeah. No, that I meant that as a compliment.
You don't know his government name.
Yeah.
No,
right?
but seriously, I think this is one of the folks in the space that's done a very good job of building a personal brand.
No doubt.
And we have him here in live and in character. So the theme's kind of been problems and solutions, and I think your product is probably a great topic for that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you're doing there at Smart Splice?
My real name is Larry Welk.
Okay, let me write that down.
You might be too young for that, but I'm named after Lawrence Welk, the bubble music guy. So I was called Bubbles through school. So I'm happy to have Professor Splice as my name right now. Basically, just been in the industry, and that's what we've done now is trying to be more service oriented, more solutions, and tape splicing for us has always been that. It's just a way to bridge the gap between trying to load feeders offline and bring them back on the machine, because people say it's much faster. It's like, no, it isn't, because it's going to be your machine's going to shut down every time you do that. So what we've been after is the perfect splice to take care of everybody's issues. And in today's world, the old way of doing things with the tool, with the old thing, that's just doesn't work anymore. Wasn't because of the tool or anything like that. It just had to do with the way the machines are designed. The machines are designed now with the reel down below.
Yeah.
When it goes up, you pop those metal brads off all the time. So it's not only time consuming, but 1 out of 3 are going to fail.
Well, it's hard too for me when I had to splice with the crimper, right? While the machine's running, because I don't want to stop the line.
You're under pressure.
And then it's always your ones that's getting used a lot, right? So it's you're trying to hold it, right? And what's cool about yours is I don't need the tool, right? Or at least one of the ones that you sell is.
Yeah, the most important tool is a cutter. It's just like a computer, crap in, crap out. If you don't cut a perfectly straight line, and we have people say that to us for years now, I can go faster with a pair of scissors. But when you look at the mistakes they made, a pair of scissors is not the answer. A pair of scissors in the hands of an operator with an alignment system is the way to go. Yeah. That way it's a 90-degree cut, no matter if you've had coffee, whatever. It doesn't matter how much you shake.
And it's not just 90 degrees. It's even, if you're getting that cut perfectly halfway in between the two pockets on both ends of the tape. Right. Now the pitch is going to still be matching perfectly, even though you're splicing two pieces together. Right.
And now they've even gotten to a point where we have to splice ones that aren't normal center of the pocket or sprocket hole. Okay. It has to be between, because that's 1 millimeter pitch, so they have to be offset. So we have to have an accountability for that also with the cutters.
Because there's two, is that for like the 0201s, the small stuff where it's like 2 into 1 pocket? Gotcha.
It's like it's never even. When you get down that low, normally it's a pocket and a sprocket hole, a pocket. This is like a sprocket hole apart, then half apart. So you're cutting between the sprocket holes. You have to do that so you don't cut the part in half.
Wow.
And now when you get up into the really big tape, especially connectors, they're just kind of haphazard anymore. It doesn't seem like anybody follows a spec. I've been in the industry so long. I was around when we helped the EIA develop taping specs.
Okay. Who's the EIA?
I worked for a company, electronic something initial. I don't. It's been 40 years will go by. But yeah, I used to sell taping machines for a company from Switzerland, and that's how I got. That's why I'm kind of a self-taught professor. I started with 5 years with taping machines, then many years selling manual, semi-automatic, pick and place. So, it just went into this, and we've been doing this for while I was doing other stuff, and it's been 28 years doing tape splicing.
So is that where the professor came from, self-taught?
Yeah, everybody said, my gosh, you know more about this. I said, it's just the school of hard knocks. You just have to learn it. I said, it has nothing to do with me being brilliant. And I said, believe me, because people come out, so doctor. I said, no, I'm just a professor. I teach our doctors. That's what they say. If you can't play coach, I coach stuff too. So that means I can't play. So I do whatever I need to do. But it kind of started tongue in cheek. But the first year we did it was exactly 5 years ago, right when COVID hit. And everybody was shut in after that, and everybody said, I didn't learn much about that show at that show, but I remember getting schooled by the professor. And boom, it just started making coasters, everything with that.
You know what's funny is COVID was 5 years ago, and I think almost every guest we've had on this show has told us about how it is still affected how they changed and adapted their business model and everything. It's just amazing.
That's
growth
what you see in manufacturing, though, in general, right? You have to adapt.
Well, we had to make instructional videos. We couldn't go visit people, and that's what started. Now I have Smart Splice University.
Yeah.
You can go to that site and learn everything. It's not a sales site. It is just an information site.
Sure.
People are like, why'd you do that? I said, chance to give back. I said, 39 years, I said, it's time to give back a little bit, but now they can go one place and get all the information they need. They can go to another place and place orders, learn about parts. So it is separate. Yes, it's a tout on me, but that's why we're different than anyone else because of the experience.
Well, plus that too, I think in buying from, from you or any of the other competition out there, the price tag on that stuff individually is so small compared to the price tags of everything else, and it's kind of, we're not going to buy that. We're going to buy that because we trust the person, you know? Like I started dealing with another company when I first started because I had no clue what I needed, right? I started with the brass clips, and then I realized, well, I need a tool because I was going to use pliers because I'm like, I'll just use pliers, and that didn't work, right? So then I had to get the tool, but then, he taught me instructional stuff, and then I liked that about that, and then it develops trust and rapport with them, and the online education part, and that's kind of like what we're trying to do here with what we have in our podcast is kind of educate, because it's so many facets of this business, right? And even like you're saying, just the simple putting of a crimp together, well,
that's one of the other big things we do. We call it carrier tape extender, where during COVID you couldn't get parts. You would order 1,000, get 5 pieces of 200. Okay, what do we do with those? Well, now you just take your splice them together, make 1,000 pieces, and put a leader on it. Make your own little mini reel.
Yeah.
You don't have to miss a beat on your machine. And, all these new splices that we have, they're completely toolless. You put them on. This morning I'm showing people, and they're like, it's really that simple? I said, I've been trying to tell people.
Because if you've done it without any assistance, then you know what a struggle it can be. And especially the really big tapes are even harder, and the really miniature ones, if you're having to cut it in between offset and staggered. I mean, you're not going to be doing that perfectly without a tool to help. So,
and if you've tried it with pliers before, you realize.
Believe me, a long time I've been seeing people, and I just go in, and I have one customer that has people that do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I go in there for my humble pie every now and then. They come and say, "Oh, you have no idea how to splice." I said, "Sorry, I'm the professor. You don't tell me how to do it." And they just show me. They're so good freehand. They don't even use the splices with the pins on them. They just eyeball it, and they know how giving tape, pick and place machines can be.
Yeah.
And they're even doing pocket in pocket.
Wow.
I'm like, you can't do that on a pick and place, but they are. So that's why I said with this university site, that's what it's about. Finding everything you need at one place, understanding why, but then at the back of it, we also can do training live on just like this, just either a podcast or something like that.
And what's kind of nice too, on like certain pick and place lines, it automatically adjusts now, right? So your 0603s, your resistors, your capacitors, stuff you're doing all the time that you're going to have to keep splicing. Even if you're off a little bit, like that machine, identify pocket and adjust now for that next reel. It makes it so much nicer, where before your index would be off a little bit. Now it's not picking up right. And
that's why this takes care of it.
Right.
All that stuff, all the thinking process is taken care of. Now that's what they're trying to do. And now we even do the training with your phone. Take me down to the line, I'll train you. Because we were getting a lot of pushback from people that didn't want to change.
Yeah.
I said, I will train your people via Duo, Teams call, whatever. So
nice.
Well, this has been a great chance to meet you in person and learn about what it is that you're doing and how you're helping folks. And yeah, I think we have a lot in common in terms of wanting to get information out there, wanting to share what we know and what we've learned. And we appreciate that that's what you're doing as well. So have a great show, and thanks for being on with us.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Or should I say Bubbles?